First off, I want to say human trafficking. Is it a crime that most of us take for granted? Most of us ignore it, but it is a crime that affects every single one of us if given the chance. Tonight, I have the distinguished pleasure of introducing our speaker, Ms. Juanita Headley, who is an international speaker, a licensed New York attorney, and the founder and CEO of Changing Cases. Ms. Headley was raised in London, England by her Jamaican-born mother, where she attended school until the age of 17, where she relocated to Switzerland for 2 years to become a chef. After completing an internship at the United Nations in Geneva and graduating from the Institute Hostel Caesar Ritz with an international hospitality management diploma, she returned to England, where she eventually pursued a degree in law. Since 2012, Ms. Headley has been spending periods of 6 months volunteering unpaid in the United States, serving in the indigent community in matters of crime, immigration, family, employment, and housing laws. She also volunteered with EPAT USA on an anti-child pornography project, assisted at the National Center on Sexual Exploitation 2016 Coalition to End Sexual Exploitation Summit, and as a trained volunteer ambassador at Shared Hope International 2016 Just Conference. In her current capacity, Ms. Headley gives human trafficking talk to audience of up to 800 plus, which have included Army, police officers, students, social workers, teachers, parents. She's also employed at the office of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. She has been featured in Trinidad newspapers, The Guardian, The Mirror, Newsday, and made numerous media appearances on Ghana, New York, Trinidad radio programs. Ms. Headley has also been a guest speaker on Ghana Television Network GTV and Standpoint with Olili Griffey. Ms. Headley has also used Facebook to create gender-specific anti-trafficking groups and an education and empowerment group, the latter of which was designed to inspire the exploited men and women in the red light district that have ordinary life, in which an ordinary life such as theirs can accomplish great things. It therefore acts as a platform of skill training, job posting, conversation, and video diaries. Aside from Ms. Headley's work in the red light district, she is also working on a number of other projects, including hosting multiple global screening of Soul, which is a movie depicting human trafficking, continue to serve the indigent community throughout Asia, and eagerly awaits gainful employment, which will enable her to realize her dream of building an orphanage shelter for human trafficking survivors in the Philippines. Tonight, I take the distinguished pleasure of welcoming Ms. Headley to the podium, where she will be presenting on child trafficking and human trafficking.
Good evening. Can you all hear me? Yes. Okay, great. Before I start, I'm going to show you 2 videos. The first video is called Believe in Me. The second video is called Call Me Family. These are not music videos. They are not entertainment. It is an opportunity for you to send a last text, WhatsApp, tweet, Snapchat. Everything that I do is intentional. And I want you to pay attention because I'll have questions at the end. My questions are never usually rhetorical. You either have to raise your hand or shout something out. I want to make this as participatory as possible, and I feel that we learn through doing and engaging. Sometimes when I speak, I may speak very fast because I become very passionate. If that happens, please wave at me. Do not talk to each other. Do not come up to me at the end or post on my Facebook wall, Ms. Headley speaks fast. I know that. Please tell me ahead of time. If I say something that doesn't make sense, again, please wave at me. I want to make this a learning experience. I can learn from you and you can learn from me. During the videos, I will not be in the room. Why? When I watched them 5 years ago, it was traumatic for me. I'll be back when the videos are over. My youngest audience member was 7 years of age in Trinidad and Tobago. When you watch the videos, you will wonder why I was so emotional about it. I'll explain why later. As I said, 2 videos, and then I'll come back and I'll have some questions.
Family is something I've longed for as long as I can remember. This is my story.
Don't forget about me when you wish upon that star that you see. 'Cause I'm still alive under this same sky, wishing on that same star for strength to survive. Who will call me family?
Wipe the tears from my face, 'cause I won't leave another in this place. Oh, I look up to the sky, and through my red swollen eyes I see my star. Oh, how far. But with every new day, it doesn't seem so far away. 'Cause I know that someone out there will call me family. Oh, but who will call me family?
call me family. Who will call me family? Will you call me family?
Don't forget about me.
Please don't lie to me. We're in church. Just take out your cell phone. Can you please check that it's on silent or vibrate for me, please? Because what sometimes happens is the phone goes off in the middle of what I'm saying. And what you may not know, but with criminal lawyers in the United States, many of them go to acting school. So it's all about the theatrics and the dramatic pauses. And when the phone goes off, it creates a distraction. So please kindly silent or vibrate. Before I start, I want us just to talk about the first video you just saw. Right at the beginning, there was a lady. She had on a short skirt and fishnet tights. The little girl goes away with a guy. Does anybody know who was that guy, or for what reason did the girl go away with him? Right at the beginning of video number 2. Don't be shy. I believe you're smarter than a 7-year-old. Second video. Lady with a short skirt, fishnet tights. Right at the beginning, the girl goes away with a guy. Who was that guy and for what reason? The 2 videos are totally different. They have nothing to do with each other. Anybody? Who was that guy? Yes, please. That's right. The first thing he said, it is not good to assume. And I totally agree and concur. However, if you watch the video from scene to scene, there's no need for assumption because you get to work out the rest of the story. Right at the beginning, we see the lady. She is a prostitute. She has on a short skirt, fishnet tights. The 2 videos are separate. Let me be clear. They're very different videos. The little girl goes away with a guy. Now, some people who watch this believe that's the girl's father or grandfather. Now, when I hear that, that concerns me. Because when she was 8 on the merry-go-round, it was the same guy rubbing his legs sexually. And when she's 16, instead of going to prom, she's having sex with the same guy. Now, when she's on the merry-go-round, that lady, in my opinion, is not her mother. If it was her mother, she'd have on the same outfit, because she'd be selling her own body. When she's 26, she gets into a vehicle. Does anybody know whose vehicle and for what purpose did she get in there when she was 26 years of age? Hold on.
She went into some random dude's vehicle, which means she could be a prostitute.
What are you going to say? He said, repeat the first part.
She went into some random dude's vehicle, so she could be a prostitute at 26.
She went into some dude's random vehicle so that she could prostitute herself. If you paid attention, before she got into the vehicle, she got a phone call. There was a face. And then the flashback, the same lady from the merry-go-round who is her pimp. Women can be pimps too. And then when the vehicle pulls up, she has to bend down to communicate to the person in the vehicle. But even the way she bent down was very sexualized. Raising your hand, who gets into a vehicle like that? She didn't even know who was in the vehicle. She had no idea. And then she had to discuss the transaction. For me, when I get into a vehicle, do you know what I do? I just open the door and get inside because I recognize the car, the license plate number. I show this so that you will not assume. Like the young guy said, well, you look young, we all look young, right? Like the guy said, let's not assume. However, there are instances when an individual selling their body at 26, it began when they were 4. And so when we see something, let's not judge, let's not assume. Let's consider the circumstances. Think about it. If you walk outside of these walls and you see a black man of Caribbean descent and a black girl of Caribbean descent, you would rightfully assume that's the granddad or the dad. But with the video, we saw the end of the story, and that was not the case. When I watched this 5 years ago, I cried hysterically the entire time. Why? Because I knew immediately it was not the girl's father or grandfather. It broke my heart, and the sad reality is right now, somewhere in the world, a man, a woman, a boy, a girl is being sexually abused, tortured, raped, and murdered right now. Right now. That's why I cried, because that is the reality. And that's why it broke my heart. Both of those videos broke my heart, and I'm not an emotional person. And sometimes when I show it to my audience, depending if you understand what you're seeing, I have people cry in the audience because they understand exactly what is going on. I'm a New York attorney, as you heard with that very, very lengthy description. I'm originally from England with Jamaican parents. Now, why is that there? 2 questions people always ask. Number 1, where am I from? Number 2, how old am I? Now, I'm not going to tell you my age. I'm not as young as I look. And let's be real, nobody in this room looks their age. You either look 10 years older or 10 years younger. So please don't be asking me my age, right? I put it in there because people always want to know about my accent. I spent some time in the US. I'm English born. I traveled to the Philippines, hang out in India. When I came here, I started to have a Bajan accent. I'm like a chameleon. Wherever I go, I try to blend in, my accent changes. Now it's kind of back to the American Filipino thing. Even a guy who saw this presentation came up to me at the end and said, where are you from? I said, did you not listen? I said, Jamaican parents, English born, New York lawyer. Will work for free. Now, why is this here? It is not completely accurate, but I want you to understand who I am and why I do what I do. I have been a New York licensed practicing attorney for 5 years unpaid. I have been a volunteer for 8 years unpaid. Why is that? 2 reasons. Number 1, I'm black. Number 2, President Trump is racist. Some of you are nodding. That's not the real reason. That isn't the real reason, guys. The real reason, I don't have a visa, green card, or work permit. So if you want to work illegally, that's between you and God, but I don't do that. I simply work for free. People always ask me, so how do you survive? Live with strangers, driven by strangers, and eat with strangers. People say that's dangerous. I wholly disagree. Why? Daniel in the lion's den, the 3 men in the fiery furnace. What about the burning bush and walking on water? When you are in God's will, you're in the safest place to be. When people tell me to be careful, I don't want to hear that because my God takes care of me. And of course, it is my faith in Jesus Christ that drives me forward. No person in their right mind will work 8 years for free. I sleep on floors like a dog, sometimes skip meals. That's just how it goes. And for those of you who haven't heard my story, I quit my job 2 weeks ago. I quit my job 2 weeks ago to be here. My boss said no, but Jesus said yes, and I got on a flight 3 or 4 days later. End of. At the end of the day, I stepped out in faith, and I'm blessed to be here. Now understand, everything that comes out of my mouth is confidential. Whatever you see on the screen, feel free to share that. But whatever comes out of my mouth has to stay in this room. Now, this is not necessary, but a young boy was traumatized by what he saw. I'll explain why later. I listen to my audience. I want you to talk to me. You are quiet, and that is good. Thank you for respecting me, but I will have questions, and I'll learn from you. Even earlier, some girl taught me something in the previous session, which I will explain again later. Human trafficking. In my opinion, when you have men and women in sex, you have sex trafficking. When you have restaurants, businesses, and establishments, you have labor trafficking. In my opinion, when you have sick people, people with ailments, you have organ trafficking. In my opinion, human trafficking takes place everywhere in the world, including in St. Vincent. And when I'm talking about trafficking, I'm not talking about anybody else in this room besides you and excluding me. Why? Because I'm the immigrant. Too often we watch movies like Taken and think human trafficking requires you to be kidnapped or moved. Here I'm talking about domestic trafficking, which applies to all of you. When we're in the UK, we're talking about trafficking, we're talking about me. Realistically speaking, it is a lot easier to traffic a Chinese person in China than one of you, because you stand out like a sore thumb. Now, usually around 5 years of age, a girl or boy is sexually abused. I know of a girl aged 5 sexually abused by her cousin aged 3. That confused me too, but the question is, where did the 3-year-old learn that behavior from? I know of a girl aged 7 who came to school and was displaying sexualized behavior. Her mum ran away with another man. The dad stuck around and he said, "This is what dads and daughters do," and he raped her repeatedly. When you see sexualized behavior in a person, instead of judging them, ask yourself mentally why. I was in Tobago. I've been going to Trinidad and Tobago for the last 5 years. I was in Tobago, and a teacher shared a story of her student. He came to school and was distressed, and she said to him, "What's wrong?" He said his mom is having a baby. Now, I'm an only child, so I'm thinking maybe he's an only child too, and he's feeling jealous. She said, "You should be excited. You're having a new brother or a new sister." And he said, "I'm not excited because I don't know if the baby is mine or my brother's." Therefore, it is not just fathers, grandfathers, and uncles who are abusing, but auntie, sister, mother. Now, when that girl or boy is abused, they develop spaces in the brain. Now, it doesn't mean to say they have mental problems. When a girl or boy is 10, they unintentionally, and that's an important word, unintentionally put themselves in a compromising position to be sexually abused again. I know of a girl aged 10 who was sexually abused. A boy similar age to her when she was 12 said, "Touch my genitals." She went up to him and she did that. Now, for those of us in this room who are judgmental, you will say that she is promiscuous. No, she's not. It's simply a learned behavior. That girl or boy, their childhood is stolen. Now, I know of a young girl, age 12, who said to me, "I'm having sex with my brother." She did not call it incest. Her parents found out and told them to stop having sex. They continued to do so. When something like that happens, instead of beating them, using the rod, as the Bible says, you need to ask yourself mentally why. Now, that girl or boy, when they turn 16, they start to date their girlfriend or boyfriend. Or in this day and age, girlfriend, boyfriend, transgender, queer, mother, father, anything goes. And now, from 2012 on Amazon.com, you can purchase the Queen James Bible. That's right, if you're a practicing homosexual, there's a Bible just for you. Now, that girl or boy, their heart gets broken. Sometimes, and that's an important word, sometimes, as a result of what they've been through, they may become gay, lesbian, transgender, promiscuous, or a prostitute, sometimes, or simply have sex with nobody. In the Philippines, we address each other as ate or kuya, brother or sister. Now, there are some women in the Philippines who look, dress, and act like men, and have an immense hatred for men. You've got to ask yourself mentally the question why. You've got to ask yourself the question why. But there are some women who say, "Do you know what? I don't want to be a prostitute. I don't want to be a lesbian. I want to be sexually free, so I'm going to work in a Sexpresso cafe." So what is a Sexpresso cafe? That is where a man can get his sex act performed with his coffee in public, or there are 2 booths of privacy. It is coming to England from Switzerland. Now, around 10 years ago in England, the statistics were that 1 in 3 females were sexually abused. Of course, with the hashtag #MeToo, we know it's more than 1 in 3. We know it's men, women, celebrities, actors, actresses, musicians. The sad reality is 100% guaranteed one of you in this audience, male or female, young or old, has indeed been the unfortunate victim of childhood sexual abuse. And you know who you are. And that's a sad thing for me to guarantee, but I can say it so long as there's 3 females in the room. But I don't want my victim, survivor, or survivors in this audience to feel I'm doomed. I'm going to quit my job, go to UK with Ms. Headley, and work in a Sexpresso cafe. No, you're not. This is a message of hope, not hopelessness. Scientifically proven, with therapy, counseling, prayer, and healing, the brain is completely restored. And if you believe in Dr. Jesus, by his stripes you are healed, he is more than enough. Now, what do you have to understand? When a person is abused or trafficked, they may have insomnia, PTSD, low self-esteem. Now, with girls who are young age or women pregnant outside of marriage, instead of judging her, ask yourself mentally, who is the father? With girls and women who are pregnant outside of marriage, that may be as a result of trafficking. What about STDs, HIV, and AIDS? When you see that, instead of judging, ask yourself mentally why. Now, I want to help you to safeguard the children in your world, so I'm going to provide you with some signs and identifiers for small children. With small children, they may have regressive behavior, sucking the thumb, or wetting the bed. I know of a child, or two children in fact, who were sexually abused and didn't know it. One of them had flashbacks. The other one is in a children's home, and the court case document says she was sexually abused by her stepfather from 1 to 6 months old. So when I guarantee one of you has been abused, you may not know it. The scar on your arm you think is a birth defect, maybe somebody put it there. Now with older children, they usually don't wet the bed, so the signs are indeed different. With older children, maybe depression, maybe insecurity, low self-esteem. When a young person or an adult has sleeping issues, do not tell them to drink chamomile tea, Horlicks, Milo, or hot milk. And that a lot of victim survivors with sleep issues sexually abused during their sleep. What about somebody who runs away from home? Like with that first video. Usually within the first 12 to 24 hours, that is when a girl or boy is rescued from one bad situation into something a lot worse. What about somebody uncomfortable getting undressed in front of you? A 6-year-old girl sexually abused by her 10-year-old sister is uncomfortable getting undressed in front of her mother. Her mother says, just get undressed. Don't do that. Ask yourself mentally why. What about somebody who's dressing differently, acting differently, hanging out with a new crowd, or, like with that 7-year-old, promiscuous behavior? When you see promiscuity in a person, ask yourself mentally why. Now, it's really important to have age-appropriate conversations. So what is age-appropriate conversations? I know of a girl aged 7 who came to school and said, "Daddy is eating my cookie." That was her private parts. From today, no more cookie, pumpkin, butterfly, banana, cherry. Call it what it is. Because when you call it cookie and the child discloses at school, nobody has any idea that the child is talking about their private parts. Number 2, when the child gets to court, the defense attorney will destroy that child's testimony because it is not a cookie. Now, this is the most important thing I can teach you. Can you keep a secret? I'm going to labor on the point. Everybody in the room, including my cameraman, including the one who's retired, needs to take more photos. Everyone in the room must participate, must participate. This is the most important thing I could ask you. I even have a book on this topic. When somebody comes up to you outside of work, and asks this question, can you keep a secret? Do you say yes, no, or it depends? I'll say it again. When somebody comes up to you outside of work and says, can you keep a secret? Yes, no, it depends. Once more, when somebody comes up to you and says, can you keep a secret? Yes, no, it depends. Everybody in the room must participate, including my clickers at the back. If your answer is no, please raise your hand high, not your finger. Everyone, including my cameramen and my clickers, must participate. If your answer is no, please raise your hand. If your answer is it depends, please raise your hand high, not your finger. Thank you for participating. Hands down. If your answer is yes, please raise your hand. If you're a yes, please stand up. I'm surprised. That doesn't usually happen. Don't lie to me. We're in church, guys. Come on, be honest. If you're a yes, please stand up. And when you're standing up, you should be facing forwards. You don't need to be talking to your neighbor. Just stand up. Thank you for being honest. It's interesting. When I do this, right, my yeses get so uncomfortable. I want you to take a good look at I got to count you. I'm impressed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Cameraman with the camera, are you 16 or 15? Okay, 15. I'm impressed. That never happens. I want you to give them a round of applause. I am serious. Give them a round of applause. You can sit down. I'm amazed. I feel like I should leave right now. That never, ever happens. Maybe my message is getting out there. That is impressive. Whenever somebody comes up to you and says, can you keep a secret? It's a cry for help. They're trying to tell you something. For example, can you keep a secret? When you say it depends or no, that 7-year-old is going to keep on walking. Let's try that again. Can you keep a secret? Yes. And then she would say, Daddy is eating my cookie. Then you would say, I have to break your trust and phone the police. Let me explain it again. Can you keep a secret? Yes. Daddy's eating my cookie. You say, I have to break your trust and phone the police. Do not phone the accused. I heard you've been sexually abusing your daughter. He's going to deny it, guys, and he's going to hide the evidence. Back in the old days, children were sexually abused. Nowadays, the abuser makes money. How? He or she sells photos and videos on the dark web. I know a young girl sexually abused by her stepfather from 4 to 10. She asked her grandfather and her aunt, can you keep a secret? She got an it depends. As a result of that it depends, she was a victim of attempted rape for 6 years of her life. Let me pause and explain sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is touching a child over or under their clothing. Sexual abuse is rape. Rape is sex. Sexual abuse is attempted rape. Attempted rape is not sex. When a child is victim of attempted rape only, they're still a virgin. Showing pornography to a child is sexual abuse. Standing naked in front of a child is sexual abuse. It is not cultural, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. When you are naked in front of your child and they go next door to uncle or auntie's house who's a pedophile, your child is used to your nudity. So put clothing on yourself, please. And on the back of that, put clothing on your children. As I said earlier, I live with strangers. On one occasion, when I was living with a stranger, a 13-year-old girl ran out into the living room with no clothes on. Women are pedophiles too. Now, many of us have seen small toddlers pull down their skirt or their pants. Some of us in this room find that funny. I do not find that funny. The question I have is, who else are they entertaining? Because I know for me, and maybe everyone in this room, we were taught how to dress and undress in private. So when you see that, it is not funny. I want you to close your eyes as I tell you 2 stories. Close your eyes, close your eyes. Nobody should be making eye contact with me, especially if you are, it depends. Obedience is better than sacrifice. You know who you are. Respectfully, please close your eyes. I want you to think of a man or woman, boy or girl, you love and care about. With your eyes closed respectfully, you know who you are. Man or woman, boy or girl, you love and care about. Just picture them in your mind. Imagine they come up to you, eyes closed, and say, can you keep a secret? How would you feel if they smuggle drugs from St. Vincent to England and end up murdered or in jail? Keep your eyes closed and think of that man or woman, boy or girl you love and care about. Just picture them in your mind. Imagine they come up to you and say, can you keep a secret? And you say no or it depends. How would you feel if they commit suicide tomorrow, Friday? How would you feel? Open your eyes. Anybody shout out. How would you feel? Anyone? Terrible. Someone else. What do you say? Horrible. Louder? Terrified. Someone else. Sad? Disheartened? Your fault. I would feel responsible. From today, whenever somebody comes up to you and says, can you keep a secret? Yes with your mouth and it depends with your head. Please don't overcomplicate it. What if it's a bomb? Don't overcomplicate. You're saying yes to hear the secret. Once you've heard the secret, decide what to do, communicate your next steps, and then take those steps. Can you keep a secret? Yes. Daddy's eating my cookie. I have to break your trust and phone the police. I'll say it again. Can you keep a secret? Yes, Daddy's eating my cookie. I have to break your trust and phone the police. What if it's a bomb? Can you keep a secret? Yes, I have a bomb. Then you tell them, I have to call the bomb squad. Communicate first. They may be angry with you now, but 10 or 20 years later, when they're healthy and whole, they'll come back and thank you. I used to work for Samaritans. Samaritans is a place that people call when they're feeling depressed or suicidal. Somebody who wants to commit suicide will not call the suicide number. They will do it. When a child wants help, they will communicate with certain words. You say yes, you hear the secret, and then you help them. That is important. Now, when a girl or boy has been abused, that child becomes vulnerable. That vulnerability places a target on their back. I'm sure you may sometimes wonder where there are some women who continue to date abusive men. It's as though these women give off a fragrance or an aroma, and these men can smell it. Because why is it every boyfriend beats her up? Now, this is just a hands-up activity. Everybody in the room must participate by raising your hand. I will ask respectfully, please do not talk. Please, I don't want to hear yes, just raise your hand. When you speak, it ruins it for the rest of us. It took a lot of work to do this. Raise your hand at least once, but you can answer multiple times. Please don't overcomplicate. The question is, who are the pedophiles? Sex with children. Who are the pedophiles? Sex with children. We're going to start the top left, the black lady. If you believe the black lady is a pedophile, raise your hand. What about the guy next to her? What about the Muslim? What about the guy next to her? No speaking. What about the lady on the end? Next row, lady with the curly hair. Guy with the dreads. The blonde lady. And the guy on the end. Last row, lady with the glasses. Guy with a beard. That usually happens. Guy with less of a beard. Lady with the red hair. Thank you for participating. I like you. Thank you for participating. You were not hands crossed. It's a trick question. It's all of them. So if your hands were down, you were wrong, right? Interestingly, for the Muslim, like no one raises their hand. In my opinion, Muslims are not terrorists. People are terrorists. They use Muslimism as an excuse. Interestingly, in Israel and Jordan, they watch the most pornography in the entire world. So don't be deceived by the hijab. And in Utah, in the United States, where you have Mormons, Christians with badges, they watch the most pornography in the entire United States. So do not be deceived by the badge and the Bible. Can anybody tell me, what is a pimp? Anybody give me a definition of a pimp. What is a pimp? Someone who sells another person for money. That's beautiful. You know why? Usually I get a man who sells women. Wrong. Wrong. My best definition came from a 10-year-old in Trinidad in a library. I will quote her. This is what she said. Somebody who helps you sell your body. Perfect. Because it could be a man or woman. It could be a 12-year-old, a 15-year-old. It can be anybody. This is my definition. Or sexual salesman, sexual saleswoman. The next question, who are the pimps? An example of a pimp is teacher. Teacher is an example. Anybody is not an answer. I want you just to shout out, who are the pimps? Teacher is an example. Who are the pimps? Anybody is not an answer. Who are the pimps? Don't all answer at once. I've given you an answer. Teacher is an example. Who are the pimps? Beautiful. Parents. Relatives. Amazing. Someone else. Friends. Great. Someone else. Pastor. Hear this. She didn't say priest. She didn't say priest. Please give her a round of applause. I'm serious. I am serious. I can't hear you. Really. Round of applause. Like really. Come on. Yeah? Really, right? We need to stop with the priest business Because it's happening in every religion, every denomination. Let's leave the priests alone because we know that. But it's happening right in front of you, but you don't know because it ain't a priest. So thank you. I heard something else. Boss, I like that. I love it. Usually I get like drug man or something. No, it's just regular people. Parents, classmates, friends, and neighbors. Anybody is not an answer. Because most people think a female hormone pill to develop breasts from the waist up and remain man from the waist down. When I'm in the red light district, it's a long street with prostitutes. Some of these men are so beautiful, I'm confused if it's a man or woman. So when I meet them, I say, you're beautiful. I can't say handsome, right? Even I'm confused, okay? And I'm like, wow, she's hot. Or maybe he's hot. It's kind of confusing. Can anybody give me a definition of grooming? Anybody? It can be answered in one word. Anybody? What is grooming? Not an example, the definition of grooming. Yes, please.
The act of training or developing someone into a specific role.
The act of training or developing someone into a specific role. I love it, but you're missing a word. That is really good. Really good. Someone else. Makeover. That is correct. That is an example. But what's the definition? The dictionary definition. If you open the dictionary, what is grooming? No wrong answers in this room. I believe you're smarter than a 7-year-old. What is grooming? It can be answered in one word. Don't be shy. I like that. Who said that? With some loud voice. How old is she? You see? I told you guys, man. She is so close. Trust me, training is good. I like that. That's a high five. A distance high five. Look at your clapping. Now, just a high five, right? Distance high five. She is very, very close. It isn't training, but it's kind of. She's close. Conditioning, we're getting there. We're getting there. Someone, please rescue me. I know someone knows it. You are both very close. Come on, you can give me a sentence, but what is grooming? You can answer it in more than one word, but it can be answered in one word. Training, condition. Beautiful. Preparation for work. Preparation for school, preparation for sex. Grooming is when somebody does your hair, your nails, your makeup, takes you for KFC, buys you Flow mobile data. It's when they do nice things for you for the purpose of having sex. Some of these pimps and traffickers can be very patient. They will groom you for 6 months to a year. So you believe that's your boyfriend or your girlfriend when in fact it's just your future pimp. But some pimps don't have time for that, so they'll use brute force, gang rape you, keep you in a closet without food or water for days, and then turn you out into prostitution. Now, some pimps go to pimp school, get pimp certified, and read Pimpology 101. A lot of pimping right there. All available on Amazon, of course. And I heard of a group of pimps arrested with this book. A book on slavery. Why? In my mind, it's because they want to know how to enslave the minds of their men and women. Back in slave days, not these slave days, back in slave days when they were black and brown, I believe their hands and feet could not be chained to effectively cut down cocoa beans and coffee beans. Why else would pimps be reading books on slavery? Can anybody tell me, what is love? Anybody, what is love? It's interesting, when I ask the question, the room gets real quiet. But we say when we want the car keys, sex, money, car keys, but we don't know right now. Was that a hand? Or were you just stretching? Because little kids are real smart. Please go ahead. Loving someone? He's so cute. How old are you, like 4? Huh? 9. I thought it was 4. He's so cute. Loving somebody. I love that. Go ahead. Kind. Are you done? Okay. Close but far. Come on, yes, please. Unconditional act. John 3:16. I like it. What, agape? I like it. She's being spiritual. Agape. It's wrong, but I like it. Someone, please, come on. I know you're so close with your intelligent answers. Please. Love is so much things. Not like bad.
No, it's just, okay. Love, it has to be described, it's described differently by different people.
It's described differently by different people.
In my opinion.
In her opinion. You finished? I got to repeat because they can't hear you, so don't be nervous. I'm nervous. Oh, my hands are shaking. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
In my opinion, love is, it's unexpected. It has to be,
Love is unexpected in her opinion. I got to repeat. They can't hear. Your voice is too soft. My voice is so loud. The neighbors is hearing it. What else?
I can't speak it.
She's having difficulties to define it, but I loved it and I was impressed, and I think we all were. Yes, please. Mixture of emotions, behavior, and strong feelings. What was the last thing? And affection. Okay. Was that a hand back there or stretch? Yes, go ahead. 1 sec. Show that you care. And that was a hand, cameraman? Choice. That's interesting. Choice. Someone rescue me. Come on, guys. Intimacy. She's going there. Eros love. Someone rescue me. You're so close but so far. Connection? Tell me. Unprepared? You know what's so interesting, right? You guys are really intelligent and I like you. You're a good audience and he was so close, but so far. Love is patient. Love is kind. Hello, I did ask you, are you done? And you're like, yeah, you were done. It doesn't envy, doesn't boast. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. Love is not easily angered, does not keep a record of wrongs, always hopes, always trusts, always perseveres. I encourage you to replace the word love with the name of somebody you love or they love you. Since we're in the Caribbean, Shaniqua, Leroy, whatever, Shaniqua is patient, Shaniqua is kind. It's interesting, when I ask this to a church congregation, nobody knows what love is. They come with feelings, emotion. That is wrong. I believe it's because we, myself included, don't know what love is. Because the people in our world say they love us, but they disrespect us. They slander us, they backstab us, and they say they love us. Let's be real. And the reason this is important, why? Because pimps and traffickers say, well, you love me, so you got to have sex with my friends. And then when you're a teenager, especially in the West, the boys say, if you love me, have sex. Well, love is patient. Love waits for the wedding ring. I'm just saying it. Just saying it. Now, when a person is trafficked, maybe they sleep on the premises of their workplace, like a massage parlor. Maybe they go to wild parties and orgies, or maybe they have branding. Branding is a tattoo on the back of the neck, side of the face. No, that's not a thumbs back. You're ruining it. Please, thumbs back only. Back of the neck, side of the face, leg, etc. It might say daddy's girl. It might be a person's name. When you see that, don't assume that's her boyfriend or sugar daddy. Don't assume, like the guy said right there. Ask yourself mentally, whose name is that? I know of a lady who was married. Her ex-boyfriend was still pimping her out of her house. Her husband had no idea. Now, these are some real-life examples. Obviously, you just saw them, but what's happened? I'm not seeing anything. It's black. Have we? Okay. Yeah, so please don't click until I do a clear thumbs back, please. This is some real-life examples of men and women, women who were trafficked, right? All white Americans, all trafficked in America. Okay? The woman with the scripture on her back, that's not from the Bible. That is because he has inscribed his property. Now, when a person is trafficked, they may have poor mental health or abnormal behavior. Maybe they have bruises and abrasions on their body. We've heard of this before, the passport taken away. Lack of clarity and awareness. For example, they think they're in Leyu, but they're in Bequia. They think they're in Bequia, but they're in Kingstown. Now, with children, the signs of trafficking are different. In this country, children do not have freedom of movement. What do I mean by that? In the Philippines, we have street children 2 years and under walking around by themselves. When there is an adult who does not have freedom of movement, you've got to ask yourself mentally the question, why? Maybe they're a judge. Maybe they're a high-profile individual. Maybe they're a celebrity, or maybe they're me. I do not have freedom of movement in Trinidad and Tobago. Why? My face has been all over the TV, radio, newspapers. People know my face and my voice. I met a lady. I shook her hand and said hi. She said to me, I heard you on the radio last year. I was outside of church. A guy come up to me, Miss Headley, I saw you at Pastor Glendon's church. Now, I don't know if he was telling the truth or not, but the point is he could have seen it on Facebook. My friends have death threats. People try to kill them. This is a multi-billion-dollar criminal industry. Imagine if I'm McDonald's and KFC is next door. Competition. Think about it. I'm here to educate and to protect your kids. The pimps and traffickers will not like that. Now in South America, the man will meet a woman, date her, groom her, and marry her for the purpose of pimping her out. So she believes she has to feed Juan and Jose, when in fact her husband is her pimp. Therefore, one of the greatest challenges is that most victims do not identify as being a victim. That's my sugar daddy, that's my boyfriend, that is my husband. Okay, just a little bit quicker with the thumbs back, thank you. In the US, between 6 in the morning and 9 in the morning, 6 in the evening and 9 in the evening, that is when girls and boys are picked up for sex. Why is that? Because that is when businessmen are going to work. Who can afford $100 per hour? People with money. As you heard at the beginning, I am a lawyer. Lawyers are professional liars. Lawyers lie for a living. Lawyers lie and get paid to do so. I just lie for free. But for right now, just for this little section of the presentation, I will tell you the truth and I will lie to you later. I heard of a group of girls who were brought inside the Christian Bible study for sex, not the Catholic. I heard of a boy raped in the basement of his church. It was not Catholic. I know of 2 women sexually abused by pastors, not Catholic. Not Catholic. One of these girls said, I would like you to go to the pastor's church to bring this message. I said, absolutely, I would be honored to do so. I would be honored to do so. So my PA called him repeatedly. He didn't answer the phone, but he texted back, I'll get back in touch with you. I'm a born-again Christian. I pray to God through Jesus Christ directly. So I asked my friends from around the world, please pray for me. I want to go to pedophile pastor's church on Sunday. On Monday, we prayed. On Tuesday, he died. So I don't know what they prayed, but he died on Tuesday, true story. Prayer is powerful, right? I tried to keep a straight face, it's hard, but that is a true story. Selfie pictures. I'm sure we all take them, but you've got to think about what you're putting out there. Because there are men and women with this intention. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, boys and girls. Now, for those of you who are male in this room and have females in your world, and for those of you who are female, don't take these photos. Why? Because he says, I don't need to groom her. I don't need to rape her. She's already having sex. I'll just say have sex for money. And I got to pause here because yesterday a guy said to me, you didn't talk about the clothing, so I'm going to go one step further. Please consider the clothing you put on your little girls. You are sexualizing them. Think about the way that they're dancing, all this whining and grinding business, right? The Bible speaks about lust with the eyes. Men are visual individuals, okay? I'm not justifying, I'm explaining. Back in Bible days, there was a lady who was talking to a snake. Women talk too much. Why is she talking to a snake? Hello. And then guess what? There was a man in a garden who saw a naked woman and ate an apple. Men are visual. So please do not be sexualizing your children. They even have in the United States sexy underwear for little girls. Plucking eyebrows and giving them a thong. I mean, the underwear. What is this? Come on now. And you got to be wise what you expose them to. Let me go there. The LOL dolls with the button on the private parts. Huh? When that child is playing with her LOL doll and touching the private parts, what's she going to do to your child? What's she going to do to your niece, nephew? Hello. You got to use wisdom. The Bible says people perish for lack of knowledge. You need wisdom. Wisdom is important. You got to know who you're talking to. Safeguard and protect yourself. Joel Davis, he's posing here with a lady from the United Nations. It says, end youth sexual violence. He runs an organization. However, I read that he was raping a 14-year-old boy in his New York apartment and how he was talking to an undercover police officer about the sexual activity he wanted to perform on children aged 0. He runs an organization, guys. He runs an organization, guys. You cannot trust anybody. I am serious. Because it's the people closest to you that do this. It's not the strangers. Now, there was a young boy who was arrested by the police when he was 10. The police said to him, when you were raping that girl and she cried and said no, why didn't you stop? And he said, I see it in pornography. Women cry and say no. In other words, no does not mean no anymore. And another woman who was married, first husband, he made pornography with her without her consent. It is still being sold on the internet today. Not every type of pornography is consensual. Amanda Todd, some of you heard the story, a young girl in Canada. She took one topless photograph. A guy trailed her, posted her photos on the internet. She committed suicide. In 2011, Peter Scully left his wife and what happened? That's not a thumbs back, please, please. Please, I'm begging you. Only thumbs back, you're ruining it, right? Anyway, let me start again. In 2011, Peter Scully left his wife and 2 children in Australia after stealing billions of dollars in business investments. He came to the Philippines and set up the No Limits Fund Company. Peter Scully committed the most heinous sexual offenses the Philippines has ever seen. The police and social workers cried when they watched the video. They wanted to bring back the death penalty. Now, let me explain something about the death penalty. Let's say today is Monday and I'm holding, usually I got a clicker, I'm holding a clicker. Click, click, right? Today is Monday. On Tuesday, death penalty comes in. Death penalty goes forwards, not backwards. Otherwise, that would mean we've all committed crimes. What about the mask in my country? We must wear masks from the 1st of June. They cannot sue me or fire me or whatever, put me in jail or whatever, because I didn't wear the mask in April. The laws of the land go forwards, not backwards. I want to be clear. And I believe in John 3:16. I do not believe in the death penalty. I believe in prison and jail time. But let me explain. I said it on an interview very recently, and the person who heard was confused. I will make it clear. I believe in prison and jail time. I do not necessarily believe in releasing someone back on the street to re-offend, but I'm saying I believe in prison and jail time. John 3:16, the God of second chances, but prison. That's just my beliefs only. Now, in the Philippines, Scully, like I said, committed these heinous crimes. He made this video. He was earning, this is him, dead bodies under the floorboards. He was earning $10,000 US on this video. I don't know if you see it at the bottom. It says, I enjoyed your daughter, thank you. Or maybe, I enjoyed your son. That is what pedophiles think about the children in your world. Daisy's Destruction is a video of Peter Scully and his girlfriend Liza. They sexually abused and tortured Daisy. And then what they did, they hung her upside down and dripped candle wax on her genitals. That is hard to hear, but it's a lot harder to go through. They beat her and tortured her to the point of death. Daisy was 18 months old. Now imagine if she came up to you and said, can you keep a secret? When you say no or it depends and she dies, you are responsible. There is a Daisy in this room, male or female. There is a Daisy in your world, you just don't know it. For you to protect that Daisy, you need to say yes to the question, can you keep a secret? But actually, that's not completely true. Daisy is still alive, being cared for by a Christian lawyer's orphanage in the Philippines. She's now 5 or 6, still suffering with the mental and physical trauma of what she went through. The people who watched the video believed that she was dead. So that tells you something. The good news is Peter Scully got life imprisonment. However, I heard on good authority, a lawyer who worked on the case, he gets special privileges, air conditioning, and the women from the jail next door come over and perform sex acts on him and with him. The really, really good news is that Peter Scully's girlfriend Liza was arrested walking down the beach of Malapascua Island where I was in the summer. The picture from the middle is from the pornographic video. She was naked apart from her eyes. They did forensic science to determine who she was. Now, I'm not justifying, she's not as young as she looks, but she was prostituted as a child. I'm just explaining the why. No such thing as a child prostitute, but she was prostituted as a child. Video games, I'm sure you'll play them, but you've got to think about what you're exposing yourself to. Now, for those of you who are as innocent as I am, you will not know. You pick up a prostitute, she performs a sex act on you, then I learned, pay her 50 EC dollars, beat her up, murder her, and get your money back. This is why some boys and men think women and girls are just there for sex, because video games like this desensitize them to that mindset. So I was in Trinidad a couple years ago, and someone said, give us advice. Now, it is hard to give advice in a place like Trinidad, where during Carnival, during Carnival, the women wear 2 strings. I mean, literally 2 strings. But here's my advice. Every time you get into a vehicle, if you have a button phone, that's what we call it in India, text the license plate number. If you have a touch phone, take a photograph of the license plate and the person's face and say, I'm just taking a photo of your face in case you traffic me. Even if that's your grandma, I'm serious. It's the people closest to you that do this. Pornography. Let me explain something about pornography. Earlier on, I mentioned a child sexually abused from 4 to 10 by their mother's first husband. When they turned 13, their stepfather wanted to start things up again, so he made a home video. I don't know if you get that. He made a video having sex with a child's biological mother. God forbid you're being sexually abused. Imagine seeing a video of your parents having sex. That's sick. Now, some of you in this room know the scripture, the marriage bed is not defiled. But I strongly discourage you from making pornography in your marriage. Because that same porno video can be used to groom your child or somebody else's. So do not be making porn in your marriage. And I am the 4-year-old. I'll say it again for those who are distracted. I am the 4-year-old sexually abused by my mother's first husband. I got an It Depends to Can You Keep a Secret? And as a result of that, healed in Jesus' name, but used to have low self-esteem, used to be insecure, used to wet the bed, used to have few friends, used to have anger issues. The signs and identifiers you see in children, I used to have as an adult. Insomnia was yesterday. When people tell me to drink milk, that's insulting. I'm allergic, so don't do that. Like I said, you need to get to the root cause. When you see a certain behavior, ask yourself why. And I am not the only Daisy in this room. I believe if I had got a yes to Can You Keep a Secret, I'd be married by now with my orphanage in the Philippines and adopted Filipino street kids. I should be paid to stand here, but instead I travel the world, sleeping on the floor like a dog, just to find my healing and to protect your children. Now let me explain something about pornography. When a man or boy watches pornography to the point of addiction, one day when he gets married, he's unable to perform his marital duties without Viagra. And it's not cheap. So tell him to start saving. Because when men and boys watch porn, they are not eating popcorn. Their hand is occupied. And some of you know what I mean by that. Virtual reality suit. Can anybody tell me what is that? Ignore the picture, but anybody, what is a virtual reality suit? Don't overcomplicate it. Forget the picture. Look at the words.
It's a suit, or it's probably an eyewear. It could be basically anything that you fit on that.
A suit or eyewear that you put on your eyes.
Or it mimics a sexual encounter, or it puts you in.
Or mimics a sexual encounter.
Another world, or
It puts you in another world or game.
you're actually having a sexual encounter.
Where you're actually having a sexual encounter. Please give a round of applause. Please do. It's interesting. My favorite word, interesting. When I ask this question, nobody gets it right. It's a robot. It's not. Look at the words. Virtual reality suit. Forget the picture. It's in the title. It's a suit. This is a guy wearing the suit. It is a sex suit. That's the woman's breast he's holding. It's not a joystick. Now, when men and boys watch pornography, something escapes from the waist down, so I had to crop it here. I'm not going to use inappropriate photographs to talk about my inappropriate message. But what's wrong with virtual reality? Men and women do not want to have sex with humans, they want to have sex with robots. And now with AI technology, you can marry your robots and have children with your robots. But what's wrong with robots? This is what's wrong: child height, child size, child weight. And like a young boy in Trinidad said, it starts with a doll and then real flesh, the kids in your world. At the beginning, I had a warning symbol. A boy about 18 was traumatized when he saw this. Now, if you didn't see the words, you wouldn't know it's a sex doll robot. You wouldn't know that. The teacher in the school in Trinidad said, the young gentleman, his father is in the army. Do you think I care? Army men abuse too. The boy was traumatized. He told me, he demanded, put a warning in your presentation. Traumatized. Look at the rest of us in the room and look at this. What are we seeing? We're seeing dolls. We're just seeing dolls. No title, you're seeing dolls, right? Now, what's wrong with these, okay? A doll like this one, she is over the age of 18, so I guess nothing is wrong with her, right? I chose her because she's not too voluptuous, and she has nicer abs than me, and I do try to work out. Now, you can buy her for 1,300 British pounds, but if you can't afford to, for 40 British pounds, you can purchase male or female genitals of your color and size and keep them in your handbag for whenever you're ready. In China, the men don't want to have affairs, so they go to sex doll brothels. And if you can't afford that, then you could go on a website called Climax Cloud. Now, Climax Cloud does not have people on the website. It has items you can purchase: a bunking brocco, a tube for men, and a chair with the male genitals attached. So imagine, you don't need to have sex with a robot, you don't need to have sex with a human, you can now have sex with a chair. I mean, it's only a chair, right? It's not that bad, it is just a chair. I think this is worse. In Canada, they have legalized bestiality. In Tobago, the boys have sex with goats. In Colombia, the boys and men have sex with donkeys. In St. Vincent, the men and boys have sex with sheep, with cow, with dog and fowl. I learned that at a prison yesterday and today from my audience. So I have to make it relative to where I am. Yes, I'm learning. I'm being educated. Yes, in your country. Don't get no ideas, yeah? Animal lives matter too, guys. Animals were not designed for that. I saw a picture on the internet, men sitting in a row being serviced by sheep. I'm sorry, but animals were not designed for that. And the Bible even covers it in Leviticus, okay? I heard in the United States, 90% of women who are prostituted were sexually abused as a child. Now, when I heard that, I believe prostitution chose them and not the other way around, but some people believe it's a job. I don't believe it is a job, but if it is, why is it only for adults? When I was 15 and I started work, I was too young to be a prostitute. Once you have your degree and qualification, you can start work. There is usually no age restriction, but with prostitution, you've got to be 18. I don't believe it is a job, but if it is, then why do you need drugs and alcohol to perform your duties? How many jobs require drugs and alcohol to perform your duties? None. Let's pretend we're in Vietnam. She has massage cards. Massage, massage. The guy comes up to her. She whispers the specials in his ear because it's not a massage, it's sex. He's not sure. I'm just filming this. Then she begs him, have sex with me. And he's not sure. Then she grabs his arm, have sex with me. How many of us have to beg somebody and get angry at them for them to purchase our service? When you buy gas, water, plantain chips, do you do this? Please sell me plantain chips. You don't do that. These men and women degrade themselves down so much and we call it a job. I don't believe it is a job, but if it is, then this is the workplace. This is the workplace and the bed is the workstation. How is this a workplace for any man or woman on this earth, and how is the bed the workstation? I don't believe it is a job, but if it is a job, then why ain't you working there? Why ain't your mom working there? Why ain't your brother working there? Why is it this is a job for the immigrants, but not for your family? I don't get that one. Your kids can be a doctor, lawyer, bus driver, but not a prostitute. I don't believe it is a job, but if it is, then this is the customer. But if he's the customer, then what does that make her, the product? I don't believe he's a customer, real product. I believe he is a rapist, and it is paid rape every time. These men and women are brutalized, kidnapped, raped, and murdered, and we call it a job. Now, some of the women are so smart, they get the men drunk so they can rob him, or so drunk he her to buy a cell phone. Most prostitutes don't even own a phone, or if they do, it's a phone with buttons. Now, when I'm in the red light district, the men that I see are fat, old, ugly, dirty, smelly individuals, and we say it is a job. The ladies like this, handsome, handsome. He's not handsome and he knows it. Handsome men don't have to pay for sex, just saying. And the boys in prison are like, yeah, we don't have to pay. It's true. It's true. Ask yourself this question. Is it a job? That's for you to decide. And if you think it's a job, then you do it. Well, of course not. I'm just making a point. After everything you've heard today, when someone comes up to you and says, can you keep a secret? Yes, no, it depends. I'll say it again. We'll all respond when I ask you to. After everything you've heard today, when someone comes up to you and says, can you keep a secret? Yes, no, it depends. Once more, after everything you've heard today, including my personal story, when someone comes up to you and says, can you keep a secret? Yes, no, it depends. Everyone must participate. If your answer is no, please raise your hand high. After everything you've heard, including my personal story. If your answer is it depends after everything you've heard, including my personal story. If your answer is yes after everything you've heard, please raise your hands. Amazing, that's fantastic. Let's try something and I'll give you my contact information. I will be the 7-year-old, okay? I'm now 7. Can you keep a secret? Yes. Daddy's eating my cookie. I have to break your trust and phone the police. Can you keep a secret? Yes. Daddy's eating my cookie. I have to break your trust and phone the police. Once more. Can you keep a secret? Yes. Daddy's eating my cookie. I have to break your trust and phone the police. I am the 7-year-old. Can you keep a secret? Yes. Can you keep a secret? Yes. Daddy's eating my cookie. Awesome. Please take out your cell phones so I can give you my contact information. Like I said, I'm not the only Daisy in this room, so please take out your phones to get my contact. Thank you. My education and empowerment video series, it's on Amazon, not on Amazon, sorry. It's on YouTube. Everything else is on Amazon. This is on YouTube. Please take it down. Show it to somebody who's not in the room today and you think they've been abused. You put it on. Ms. Headley was abused. Use it as a conversation starter. Like I said earlier, I'm not the only Daisy. Every time I speak, the Daisy comes up to me or they WhatsApp me. I am a Daisy. I'm telling you, there are Daisies right in your country, and I've met some of them. I tell you the truth. And there is a Daisy, male or female, in this room. And sadly, more than one of you knows exactly what I'm talking about. I don't use the term awareness. Awareness is like looking outside and saying, it is dark. And you say, I'm aware. I did not quit my job and come here to raise awareness. I don't do that. I'm here to educate and empower you with the tools to protect your kids. I also have some pages on Facebook. This is my Can You Keep a Secret page. I have a girls group and a boys group. This group is for inspirational things to share with one another. It is about secrets. 20 years ago, this happened. 10 years ago, but look where I am today. It is about sharing inspirational things. Let's inspire one another with positivity. These groups are about sharing. I used to be like this. I left prison 10 years ago. Look who I am now. Secret sharing. Let's inspire other people. Every one of us has a story. Every one of us has a story. The Word of God says we have overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Everybody has a testimony. It don't have to be no big testimony. You're alive, that's a testimony. The bus came on time, that's a testimony. You got a pay rise, that's a testimony. Come on, we all have a testimony. I have a business page. This is my business page. SciCast, Can You Keep a Secret? That's my name. Changing Cases, SciCast. I desire to see a world where we all say yes. Think about the kids around you who may have been abused, but you didn't know that because it depends. From today onwards, the dynamics is going to change. I also have some anti-human trafficking groups, which talks about child abuse and trafficking around the world, so you can be educated to understand more on this topic. Some of the stories I share today is from my groups. I get emails every day around 3 p.m. UK time with newspaper articles, maybe Searchlight, maybe the news, talking on these topics. This is the boys group, same name, Changing Cases. Again, please join to be educated and empowered. My mother is obviously not like me. She married a pedophile. In the eyes of the law, LAW, justice was never served. He is deceased. But in the eyes of the Lord, justice will indeed be served. I told my mother I want to help prostitutes get a job in the orphanage where I'm working. She said, if you do that, you'll be fired. Healed in Jesus' name, but used to have anger issues. I did this with my anger. I'm serious. I made this group. I got really angry and made this group. This group is for you to share your story. Let me tell you my story real quick. Left school at 15, D and E grades. I was in the foundation group, D and E grades. I then did 2 years of cooking, went to Switzerland, trained as a chef in United Nations. D and E grades, 4 years of cooking. I then left Switzerland, came back to England, went to university, and did a year of maths and science. I got an A in maths. How? I was always in A. I was privately tutored during school. I then did a year of forensic science, which was boring. A year of police studies, which was boring. And 3 years of law, that was really boring. I then got on a plane, took my exams and failed. Got on a plane, took my exams and failed. Got on a plane for the third and final time and said to God through Jesus Christ directly, if I do not pass my exams, I'll be a missionary. I passed my exams, I'm kind of a missionary. What is your story? Mine is not about abuse. It's about success and failure, failure and success. This is my Facebook, Changing Cases. I'm kind of hard to find. My name on Facebook is Juanita Carr, C-A-R-R. The condensed version, somebody reported my name, because obviously my name isn't Changing Cases, it's Juanita. Somebody reported my name. Facebook kicked me off, technically kicked me off, so I had to rename myself. I don't want people to know what I do for my personal safety, etc. Jealousy is real. That's why I quit my job. There was some jealousy going on in there, so I don't want people to know what I do. If you Google me, you type in my name, I'm all over the internet, but I want to keep my private life private. So on Facebook, my name is Juanita Carr, C-A-R-R. I'm kind of hard to find, but you can find me with Changing Cases. I got a prayer page, I got an orphanage page, a feeding program page. I got pages. My name is Changing Cases. I also have a business page, Juanita Headley. This is the correct spelling of my last name. It's my pet peeve when people miss out the E, especially in Trinidad. It ain't Headley, it's Headley. If you can't pronounce my name, you can call me 1 liter, like a bottle of water. Yeah, 1 liter, I'll take that. But don't mispronounce. It's a Spanish name like Jesus, you know, Juanita, it's Spanish. That's my name. The only page you'll find with my name, Juanita Headley, attorney. My volunteer page. This is me in the Philippines on Christmas Day feeding the poor. There's a bit of a theme. I like to work for free. I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by JC, Jesus Christ. So I work for free. I love to help. I love to help. I spent my Christmas Day feeding the poor in the Philippines. I got a heart for serving. If you have 5 minutes out of your day, every day around 10 a.m. you get an email to your inbox. It has newspaper articles. You post them up on Facebook. It educates others. I need volunteers. Right now, I'm the secretary, PA, I'm everything. I need help, guys. I need a web designer. I need a cameraman. I need a spouse. But anyway, the point is, guys, I need help. Please help me. I need volunteers. But let me be real. If you volunteer with me, because I met a guy in Ghana, and the guy messaged me, Juanita, can I tell you something? And when he asked me that, I said, sure, WhatsApp message, yeah? He said, I would like to work with you. I would like to be part of your team. I said, sure, you can work with me for free in Ghana with your laptop. So please don't be wanting to come with me, traveling the world. No, no, no. Remember, I live with strangers. They can only feed one mouth, not two, yeah? So don't be, oh, can I come with you? I'm telling you the truth. I sleep on floor with cockroach and spider, and I'm afraid of spiders. But I get over the phobia when I need to, yeah? Please, please, I do need help. So if you have services you want to help, I cannot pay you. I can pay you with nice words. That's about it, right? But please, I need help. My review page, this is important. I'll explain why. Some of you maybe watch international news and you heard Kim Kardashian is hanging out with President Trump. As a result of that hangout, a lady in jail for drugs got clemency. She's now out of jail. I do not need Kim or Trump's help, but there are people in the world who can help me to achieve my 3 dreams. Dream number 1 day when I grow up, I want to get a paid job that I don't have to quit. Dream number 2, I want to build safe houses and orphanages in the Philippines. Why the Philippines? Number 1 for cyber sex trafficking, where boys and girls are sexually abusing each other in front of webcam, where mums and dads are abusing their children in front of webcam for these white men around the world who eventually come over and rape those children. Dream number 3, this one is real important. I want to build bakeries around the world with open hiring policy. I want to hire former prostitutes. I want to hire former homeless people. And I want to hire ex-convicts. The God that I serve is about second chances. You may not know this. In New York, once you commit a felony conviction, you cannot get food stamps, free healthcare, free housing. In my opinion, it is a system set up for the black and brown people to fail. When I can give this ex-convict an honest living, he'll stop selling weed, he'll stop selling his daughter for sex. In the US, they have a bakery, Greystone Bakery. All of their employees are ex-convicts. This bakery is over 30 years old. And every one of you who eats Ben & Jerry's ice cream with brownies inside, ex-convicts made those brownies. Hear that? Understand it. And those brownies taste good, right? Let's not judge. Like the guy said at the back, let's not assume. Everybody has a story. I was sharing with a few people that I went to a school yesterday. And when I went to the school, one of the staff members was disrespecting me. I don't care who you are, I will call you out. Yeah, simple as. 800 kids, the boy with the green shirt, I will call you out. Don't disrespect me. I could be anywhere else but here. And I'm in the school giving the same message, and she thought it was appropriate to talk whilst I'm talking. And I don't like that because that's not okay. Number 1, you're distracting other people who need to hear the message. You know what's so interesting? When I left from there and went to the Bel-Air prison, the men there respected me 10 times more than that lady. When I was there, what I saw was human beings. I don't know their infractions, but I told them, I see you as human beings. I said, the only reason you're here is because you got caught. I can guarantee every single one of us in this room has committed a crime, including myself, and I believe that crime is theft. Anytime you take something that don't belong to you, your mom's lipstick, your dad's aftershave, a cookie or $1, anytime you do that, that is theft. So I have a question. Raise your hand in here if you are a thief. I see the hands going up. But you didn't get caught, guys. Is the camera watching? Camera, you watching? You didn't get caught. Hello. They're raising your hand. Your hand was raised and the camera saw it. You did not get caught. But the point I'm making, every one of us has committed a crime, and it is theft. I have. When my mom said you can't eat that, I took it. That is appropriation. That is theft. But we didn't get caught. But I tell you, there's a guy in Yemen. This guy was married. On his wedding night, his wife died. Now, if I want to see change in Yemen, I would say to him, Mr. Yemen, marriage is good. Marriage is a beautiful thing. But your wife was 6, he was 40. When people get shocked by that, I don't understand. Because in my country and in your country, there are men of 40 having sex with 6-year-olds all the time. It ain't their wife. At the end of the day, we want change to happen. There's a way to do that. I don't agree with that, but I got to meet you where you're at. When I went to the prison, I'm telling you, it's not my first prison. I've worked with prisoners before overseas. When I went there, number 1, I felt honored to be there. Number 2, I'm telling you, their behavior was so much better than their professional teacher. They behaved civilized. They showed me so much respect. One of them high-fived me twice with this hand, so I have touched a criminal, okay? I have, and I survived, guys. The way that my God sees them, human being with a tendency to rape, human being with a tendency to murder, human being with a tendency to have sex with children. Because when you call somebody a pedophile, that's all they can aspire to be. There is life and death in the tongue. That when you say human being, they have the capacity to change in prison. Hear me, in prison. Right? Hopefully you'll see what's next. My Twitter, if you're on Twitter, Instagram, take it down. I'm not very Instagram savvy, but this is my Instagram. Changing Cases Psychas. That's my name. Can you keep a secret? So we've got a hashtag Me Too. We need a hashtag Psychas. Think about how the world would be a safer place if we knew what was going on with the kids around us. Changing Cases Psychas, that's my name. Follow me, like my pictures. I'm not so tech savvy, but please, that's my name. My book is available here. It's 70 EC. You can get the copies today, or from Mr. Games Bookstore. Now, why is it 70 EC? 60, that's 60% of profits will be used for building the safe houses in the Philippines. Remember, I'm unemployed, but I like to help people, so I'm giving away 60%. I only get 40, and that ain't much. And let me be real, God gets his first 10%. Malachi chapter 3, when you give 10% of your earnings, the Lord will open the windows of heaven and pour out so much blessing you have no room to contain it. At the end of the day, whether you tithe or not, I don't care. 8 years without a paid job, I tithe almost every Sunday. The God that I serve is faithful, I'm telling you. Even I'm here, right? The Lord has blessed me with finances that I tithe even now that I'm here without a job. That's the God that I serve. God gets his 10%, 50% to the orphanage, and I get 40. I get the smallest portion, and I don't have a job. You know why? I'm not chasing the money. Okay, great. We can go to the video. I got a 2-minute video, and then I will give you my WhatsApp information, and we're done. So we'll just have the 2-minute video, and then I will give you my WhatsApp information. We're hoping it's going to work.
I feel lonely deep inside, and I wanna talk about it. Can I trust you on my side? Cause I wanna talk about it. Dude, can you keep a secret? Keep a secret. Can you keep a secret? Keep a secret. Can you keep a secret? I wanna trust you. I wanna trust you. So can you keep my secret? You see this road gets tough, gets cold, but still never lose that hope. You got everything it takes and more. You're not alone in this war. Help is on the way every other day. You can lean on my shoulders, cause you are superhuman. You got my trust, and together we can be stronger. So we can talk about it. Yeah, we can talk about it, yeah. So we can talk about it, yeah, let's talk about it, yeah. I feel lonely deep inside, and I wanna talk about it. Can I trust you on my side? Cause I wanna talk about it. Dude, can you keep a secret? Keep a secret. Can you keep a secret? Keep a secret. Can you keep a secret? I wanna trust you. I wanna trust you. So can you keep my secret?
Okay, as you know, I'll be here until the 10th, as many of you have heard. I'll be here until the 10th of this month. I pray I can stay longer. But whilst I'm here, if you know of anywhere I can speak on this message, anywhere at all, please let me know. I speak 7 days a week, all day, every day. I speak anywhere geographically. Please, please, don't wait until next trip. I don't know when the next trip's going to be. I will be back, it's obvious, it's very clear. But since I'm here now, please, please, anywhere that you know that I can speak on this message, please do let me know. My WhatsApp information is here. Please, I'm begging you, take it down for the daisy in your world. I am not the only daisy in this room. Please, just take it down, please, take it down for the daisy in your world. The daisy could be sitting right next to you, male or female. Please, I'm pleading with you, take down my number. Tell me your story, tell me your secret. I can keep a secret and so can you. Please, because I'm telling you, your kids tell me their secrets all the time. They do that because they can trust me. I'm only here for a short time like a whirlwind and I'm gone. You need to hold the baton. I take donations. I've got a bag at the front and a bag at the back. Please, I'll take donations, but respectfully, I do not want your coins. I say it respectfully because someone asked earlier on, why do you not take coins? I stand here and give my time freely. US lawyers can charge 500 US plus just for an hour. When you give coins, that's what you're telling me I'm worth. Don't do that. That's what those teachers was doing, putting in coins. Yes, I'm grateful for the coins, but it's very insulting. Like I said to the prisoners, I didn't want coins, I just wanted respect, right? When I'm in Trinidad and the kids put in the offering bag, I went to a school of girls. I left there with over 300 TT. I went to MIC boys, they'll put in hundreds and 20s. Please don't insult me. I even got some of them small 10 coins or whatever. Don't be doing that. Just keep your coins. I'm just saying it respectfully. Why do I need donations? I'll tell you why. And you learn, this is why. I want to return. I would like to extend. I'm currently unemployed. I have bills and debts and responsibilities. Understand that. How did I get here? Holy Spirit emails, but of course the ticket costs money. I want to extend. I cannot extend without the means that requires finances. When you donate, 10% goes to God. The rest of the money is how I can come back here again. I've been going to Trinidad for 5 years. How? Every time I speak, people donate, not coins, they donate. $1 doesn't matter, I'll take a $1 bill, but no coins, and that enables me to continue my work. So please, respectfully, do not insult me by putting coins in there, just keep it. It's just rude, I'm sorry, but it is. Because that's what you're paying me, you're saying that's what you're worth. $1 bill, I'll take it, I'm okay, but a coins thing is really insulting, so please, don't be doing that. I've seen, but I'm saying I don't want $1 coins. That's what I'm saying. Because the fact of the matter, when I'm hearing ching ching, like when people go to church on a Sunday, what do they drop? Coins, really? The Lord gave you life and breath and you're dropping coins. We're past the day of coins, you hear me? But if you don't want to give me coins because you know that's all you got and you respect me, you could take me out for lunch tomorrow. Or I could just stay in your house for free in the biggest bedroom with the ensuite bathroom. I'm just saying. Little bit of sarcasm, but I live with strangers, so I'm ready. I am ready. And there you go again, my WhatsApp information. Now, this is the most important thing I can say, the most important thing I can say today. After everything you have heard today, the most important thing I can say to you, if any one of you in this room happens to know of any young, hot Christian single guys, just give them my number. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Mr. Bailey, what did you think about the presentation from Miss Juanita Headley's human trafficking and child sexual abuse?
Well, the presentation was very informative. I think that the timing was a good time. When you look at the target audience, there were a lot of young persons in the audience, and I think that the information shared was real timely.
Is it something that you can probably take to your business place, probably your neighborhood? Was she adequate in how she shared the information? Did you fully understand everything that was shared with you?
Yes, I understood the information, and being a police officer, being the officer in charge of the sexual offences unit, and we work in conjunction with the anti-trafficking and crime unit here in St. Vincent and Grenadines. The information is what we deal with on a daily basis. So I really think that the information was good. And again, when I look at the audience, the right set of people were getting the message.
Okay. And you don't think it was a bit too graphic?
No, I don't think so.
All right, thank you so much for talking with us.
You're welcome.
All right. Hi, with us now we have Miss, and it's Miss, right? Oh, Mrs. Forgive me, Mrs. Mandela Campbell Peters. All right, and you are a lawyer by profession?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so from a lawyer's perspective, can you tell us what you thought about the presentation?
The presentation was excellent. It was very engaging, very informative, and even though I am a lawyer, I was not aware of a lot of the statistics, and it was frightening in a sense as well to learn about what is going on in the world as it relates to sex trafficking, human trafficking. So I'm really happy that I made the decision to come to this presentation, and I stood up to say yes, I can keep a secret before.
So did I.
Yeah, but I won't keep a secret about this presentation. I would let others know that this is one that they should be a part of, and it has caused me to think, to be more observant, even when I see children around, even when I see even adults in situations, to be more observant, to look for the signs, the telling signs, as to say whether they are basically being sexually abused or maybe human trafficked. So it's caused me to open my eyes more.
Judging from the audience response from some of the videos that were shown, and even some of the pictures, did you think it was a bit too graphic for the young audience that was here, or you think this is information that they actually need?
I don't think it was too graphic. I think it is relevant information, and sometimes we need to be shocked into reality. You know, sometimes we can be indifferent about what is going on in the world, and even at a young age, because some of our children, they're grappling with it, they're seeing it and not understanding. So we have to assist them in understanding what's actually going on and trying our best to protect them from having to go through that, but not protect them from the reality that this is actually happening.
And another question, Ms. Headley says she works, most of her jobs are actually pro bono, right? What do you think? Do you think that's something that a lot more lawyers should be doing in terms of child sexual abuse and human trafficking here, just by providing, whether it's advice, legal advice, or just informing the public?
Definitely. Ms. Headley it's very admirable. You know, she's being selfless in offering her services pro bono. And I believe it's something that as lawyers, especially in these areas of child sexual abuse, human trafficking, it's an area that we can really band together and to see how we can offer support pro bono.
All right, thank you so much. And don't forget to make a contribution. All right then. All right, with from a young person's point of view, you're actually a former community college student. What's your name?
Dini Jalisa.
Okay, tell me, what did you think about the presentation made by Ms. Headley this evening? Did you find it very informative? Do you think it was a little too graphic? What do you think?
Well, I think that the presentation was indeed very informative. She was very concise with her information and very straight to the point. And her visuals actually brought across her message even better, as to give her audience a better understanding as to what she was speaking about on the topic and the way how the information is presented.
Were you surprised at all by any of the information on child sexual abuse, even the indicators that were given on how to tell that a child is being abused? Were you surprised at all, or were there things that you already know?
Well, some of them were things that I already know. However, I was surprised at how common human trafficking is actually among us all. Before this presentation, I was only thinking of human trafficking in terms of, the actual sexual abuse between the offender to the child, to the victim, and those sort of stuff. I didn't think about it as, where she spoke about the parents walking in on the children naked, or even things as simple as that. So that is what jumped out at me, because I didn't know that could actually be as general as that.
All right, and some of the photos that you saw, some of the videos that you saw, and with the audience that we had, because you saw some 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds in the audience, and speaking for yourself also as a teenager, did you think some of the images were a little too graphic? There was the child, the virtual suit and all of that?
Well, I think that, with the audience and the graphics, it was actually well suited. This is because even the little children, they have to learn about it at some time. And the good thing about it is that they're being aware of these issues at such a young age, and being exposed can give them knowledge on how to better prepare themselves in the future.
All right, thank you so much for talking with us.
You're welcome.
All right. All right, with us we have another student who attended this conversational piece by Miss Headley on child sexual abuse and human trafficking. What's your name?
Torek Cruikshank.
What do you think about the presentation tonight?
I think it was a very engaging and a very knowledgeable presentation. I really enjoyed it, and the presenter, she held on to my attention and presented the information really well to make sure that I got it.
All right, and some of the information that you got, were you surprised at all about some of the things that are actually going on, whether in regards to child sexual abuse or human trafficking? Were you surprised at all? Did anything caught you off guard? Is there anything that you really didn't know about?
To be honest, yes and no. I'm aware that there are things like this going on in our world, and that you have to be so careful. But it caught me off guard that it was happening here a lot more frequently than I thought it would. I thought it was in between, maybe a bit scarce, but not really to the full extent of actively happening.
Okay, and the information that you heard here today, do you think it was presented in a way where you can actually go out and share it with other students your own age?
Yes, I do think so.
All right, thank you for talking with us.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, that was a presentation from Miss Juanita Headley. She is an attorney, a New York licensed attorney. She's also an author and a public speaker, and also she is the CEO of Changing Cases. And it was on child sexual abuse and human trafficking. We want to thank you for watching Channel 112 IKTV. It is all about you.